Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Watch Scoreruns. So, last time we went over UFO and kind of went over some of the scoring mechanics as we watched a world record run. We're going to be doing that today as well, except this time we're going to be watching a DDC run. This is the Sakiabi Lunatic run by Sensei, or Racin, or whatever you want to call him. Last time, as you know, I brought upon some guests, Zingeku and ZM. This time, I have a completely new guest. His name is Maribel. Introduce yourself.
Hello there.
Yeah, so him and I are just going to kind of go through this replay, and we're just going to kind of, as the title says, watch a score run together. So, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep, we started.
Okay, so, DDC, where to begin? So the first thing that needs to be pointed out is the bonus system. So the game will count how many items you actually pick up every time you go to the POC line, and depending on how many items you get, you'll get a bonus. There's a 0.5 bonus, 0.8 bonus, 1.2 bonus, 1.6 bonus, and 2.0 bonus. As you can notice, our player, he is getting some resources from these POCs. He's getting both bomb pieces and life pieces. So, what determines what kind of resources you get? So, if you get a bonus that is not a 2.0, so any of the small bonuses, you get a bomb piece, and every 5th bomb piece is replaced by a life piece. Oh, by the way, I want to point out that on Cherno right now, he's doing some well-timed bombs in order to get point item value, and we'll go over that in just a sec. So as I was saying, whenever you get a 2.0 bonus, you're going to be guaranteed a life, and this will be very important, obviously. So is there anything you want to pitch in, Mary, or?
Yeah, so throughout the run, he will be increasing his PIV as much as possible, most of which will be in the early game, as you will be noticing. And with the very high PIV, the 2.0 bonuses will be worth many points. In the late game, they can be several tens of millions worth points.
And, yeah, so basically, like a lot of the Toho scoring systems, point item value is basically the heart of what your score's potential is going to be. Which means that the more PIV you get, obviously the more score you're going to get, because PIV directly correlates to the value of your point items. It's, point item value, PIV. If you, as you could have guessed, the more PIV you get early on, the better, because the earlier PIV you get, the more influence it has, because you've got a lot more bonuses to get earlier on. Like, say you were to get a bunch of PIV in Stage 1, it's going to impact the rest of the game, while if you were to just get PIV in Stage 6, it wouldn't be as valuable. Also, he is getting Graze from this. Yes, Graze also plays a role in your PIV. Every 10 Graze adds 10 PIV, so that is a thing. The rest of the PIV is going to come from the green items that you get from the cancel, and from bombs. So every time an attack gets cancelled, you might notice that all of the bullets just turn into these little items. They're called green items, and they just flow into your character. Those are where the core of your PIV comes from. So timing cancels and using bombs is really efficient. It's kind of strange though, because with Sakia B, she has an advantage that she can get green items from bombing on spell cards. This is not something that any other character can do, and you'll be seeing a lot of this in Stage 2.
Yes. In fact, on the boss fight in Stage 2, it is extremely valuable to repeatedly just bomb and suicide and then bomb again, etc. For a massive PIV gain. In fact, this PIV gain is so massive that it's worth it to completely empty your resources during that boss fight.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of SA Lunatic in the sense that After stage 2, you're pretty much going to be playing the game on very little resources, because when you do get more resources, say you lose all your resources after Sekibanki, get to Kaguro, well, some of those lives and bombs are just going to be used for PIV on Kaguro's non-spells, and you're going to be low on resources again in stage 4. And it's a trend that will continue on throughout the game until basically the final boss where you stop suiciding and stuff. The reason is because the more PIV you get, you know, the more valuable your bonuses are. I know I can't stress this enough how essential it is to keep up with your PIV. So this non-spell right here is an example of crazy PIV bombs. Sekibanki is just kind of ridiculous in how many bullets she fires on her non-spells. Like, you can get thousands and thousands of PIV from it. Like, he's already at 59,000, and he's gonna get a lot more on the boss. If you noticed, he actually hasn't suicided yet. What older routes would have done is they would have suicided on stage 2 before the boss, but he's not gonna do that because he's gonna want to use the rest of his resources on Sekibanki instead. Oh, by the way, he's doing some really cool 2.0s here. And that suicide allowed him to get a 2.0 because with the suicide, you know how when you die you get like 7 items or 7 or 8 power items? Well, in a game like DDC that counts how many items you get when you POC, suicides can actually be used to get bigger bonuses.
Ah, that makes things interesting.
Yeah, I really like the POC system. It's really genius, I think. The resource spamminess of this game is a little bit questionable, but I can get past it. It's one of the things I can forgive. Another cool thing is that DDC, outside of some spell cards on like Sekibanki, very much emphasizes spell card captures, because spell cards in this game are worth lots of points. So it's a very good game in a survival aspect, because you know, you want to capture spells for score too, so it's good for that.
Huh. It seems that the PIV bombs have begun.
Oh, yep. So this non-spell. So, you might notice he's not just bombing, he's also trying to graze too. So when he bombs, he's kind of like circling around and grazing the lanes to get more PIV. You just want to, you know, dump all your resources on Sekibanki for these PIV gains. Makes me wonder if Zune really intended you to get this much PIV on Sekibanki, or if it was just mere coincidence that she turned out to be so cash-worthy. Knowing Zune, it's kind of a strange thing. So on difficulties like normal, this spell is usually bombed, but not on Lunatic, because it's more worthwhile to just use all your resources on the final spell. What he will do though is he'll graze the lasers, and he'll try to kill 3 of these heads before he kills the boss, because those heads drop items, and you need to kill at least 3 or more in order to get a 2.0 from that PSC.
Alright.
Also, you might be wondering why he's unfocusing. So, when you focus in this game, you get extra PIV from your shot, especially with Sakiabi, but he's unfocusing when he shoots the boss. The reason for this is because he wants to make sure that he can get max power for the stage 3 mid-boss, so even if it means losing PIV, it's worth it because he just needs that power. Alright, and yes, that was Sekibanki. PIV galore.
Yep, and his resources have gone all the way down to 0-0.
Yep, that's DDC. Walk into stage 3 with nothing.
He is entering stage 3 with, well, nothing in terms of no resources, but during this stage he has increased his PIV by more than 100,000.
Yep, and from stage 3 onwards, Zune designed the stages so that it's easier to get a lot more big bonuses, so you're going to be seeing a lot of 2.0s from stage 3 onward. In fact, basically, most of the bonuses that he's going to get are 2.0s. Like, he'll get a few small bonuses here and there, but now it's time for the 2.0s, which means he's going to be getting a lot of resources back. Of course, those resources that he does get back are still going to be used. It's kind of a weird cycle. So yeah,
Yeah,
what he's
it's
doing
like-
is... Oh, sorry, go on.
You get resources back during the stages, but several mons shoot so many bullets that it's worth it to bomb them to gain more PIV, so you'll lose the resources again.
Alright, so remember when I said something earlier about wanting max power? Well, with this mid-boss, you want to kill her as soon as you can because Zune times his stages to the music. So whenever you kill a mid-boss super fast, he always adds extra enemies after the mid-boss to keep up with the music timing. So if you kill this mid-boss fast, which he will do with the strategic suicide here, he can get extra enemies which can be used for 2.0 bonuses. Which are these wisps. So he's going to want to kill at least 6 wisps before POCing, and then he'll just want to like kind of kill all of these and swiftly POC before they all hit the bottom, which is actually a lot easier with Sakia B than the other shots, because Sakia has a very special gimmick in this game. She slows down the time of the bullets falling because of her time manipulation, and in a game like DDC, where getting as many bonuses as you can with the POCs and stuff like that, it's going to be very important.
He just got a 0.8 bonus and then a 0.5 there. So that is one of the few moments where you actually get the small bonus, because you just cannot get a 2.0 at that time.
Yeah, and he also wants the PIV from all those bullets that were on screen. That's one of the purposes of that bomb too. It's very rare that there will be PIV bombs on the stages, but that's one of them. A general rule of thumb for DDC is that bombs on the bosses are either for survival or PIV, and bombs on the stages are usually for bonuses. So he's not actually going to use any bombs on this first round because there's just not enough bullets to make it worthwhile. So Kaguro is a huge difficulty curve in this game, and it's really hard to capture a lot of her attacks. I mean, if you do have to bomb, you do lose spell bonus, which is very unfortunate. You at least get some PIV from the bullets on her spells, but you do want to capture as much as you can.
So the second mom is in fact worth using PIV bombs on. She's showing right now, and he's also grazing the mom during the PIV bombs.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. He gets to go in like a little ring around the bullets. It's one of the best parts of Sakia B's bomb too, is that whenever she bombs, all the bullets on screen just freeze, and you can just graze them all.
Yep, this shot type was definitely intended to be the highest scoring shot in this game.
Most definitely. The fact that her focus shot gets extra PIV, the fact that her bombs are so good for PIV, her slowing item speed, it all adds up. The only problem is that she's very bad at surviving attacks because of her weak power. It's a bit of a shame, but it's challenging, which can be fun. So he did suicide there, and if you notice, he suicided before POCing because he wanted to get the extra bonus, like he wanted to get the bonus bigger, and he wanted to get those power items, because I think he was at max power. Actually, no, he wasn't. Never mind, disregard that. Sometimes they'll POC before, they'll suicide before they POC, that way they can not waste the power items that drop from their death. I hope I explained that right. I don't think I did.
So indeed, with those bombs he used on the mons as well as suicides to gain new bomb stocks, his resources have indeed decreased again after he increased them during the stage.
Yep. And
first stage where you see the cycle.
So now he doesn't have any bombs, so he's just going to want to suicide. Now, this suicide is a little interesting because he's going to POC and let the items rise, but not collect them. And then he's going to use his invincibility to kill enemies and get a 2.0. It's a really tricky bonus to get, and even I don't pull it off every time. It's annoying, but it's just one of those things that you gotta do, I guess, especially at a world record level. So, Stage 4 has a lot of bonuses, and a lot of them are going to be 2.0s too. So the section that's going to come up is actually kind of cool. So, he's going to go ahead and position himself to get a bonus here from this little safe spot, but on the second wave he's going to move down, and then he's going to bomb about here. You might be wondering why. Well, you see these items that get left over from that? He's gonna use those to get a 2.0. Yeah, normally that wave of the spam section doesn't give you enough items to get a 2.0 if you bomb it, but if you use items from the previous wave, you can get enough to actually get a 2.0, so it's kind of neat.
That's a really cool discovery.
Alright, so this part right here, this mid-boss and post-mid-boss part is my least favorite part in this entire game. Ben herself isn't so bad, but the part afterward is really stupid, and I'll explain why once we reach that. He's just doing some speed kill misdirection stuff on that first non, no need to bomb that. He will bomb this though, because there's a lot of bullets, and he'll go up to the center to graze. He's going to want to use about all of his bombs that he has on this current life on this non, because again, just want to keep up with that PIV. Alright, so now for the stupidest part in the game. So these enemies are assholes. They spawn at random positions on the screen, which makes this part extremely RNG heavy. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to kill them as they spawn and try to get enough items for a 2.0, but you have to bomb pretty quickly sometimes because the bullets will reach you or the items will fall. So it's really, really hard to get all these 2.0s, and he just is really skilled or really lucky because he nailed that part. I hardly ever get the bonuses there. In fact, even players like KG tend to get 1.6s on that part. So for this part, he's just gonna do some bombing. The old route got one less 2.0 from this section, but they found a new route so that they can get an extra 2.0. So yeah, coolness.
So that's how he improved his old record.
There's a lot of improvements. One of the biggest ones was actually in Stage 2 with not suiciding until Sekibanki and using more bombs on Sekibanki instead to get more PIV. So he's... Oh yeah, so another thing is that the old route, I can't talk today, it's embarrassing. The runs didn't get as many resources on Yatsuhashi, so they couldn't get as many PIV bombs on her. This new world record route, in which he basically doesn't miss a single 2.0, he gets tons of lives, and he actually has resources to suicide and bomb on Yatsuhashi, which is very important. Actually, it's very important because if he had missed like 1 or 2 2.0 bonuses, he wouldn't have been able to bomb as much on Yatsuhashi, which would have been a huge loss. It's actually kind of stressful because if you want to go for like 2.2, you've got to do crazy stuff like this.
This first spell is pretty easy capture since you can just circle around Yatsuhashi and the bullets will just follow you. But she has some very difficult spell to capture, which is her final one, and especially with Sakuya B, it's a big problem.
Yeah, and if you notice, the spell card bonuses are getting higher because as you go along the stages, they're worth more. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get consistent at that Yatsuhashi final, so he's gonna bomb it. Oh, spoilers. So now he's going to suicide before he collects that bomb piece, because if he had POC'd and collected that bomb piece, it would have been wasted. Because, well, it might not necessarily have been wasted as much, but the power items from that, the power items that Yatsuhashi dropped after you finished her second spell would have been wasted if he had not suicide instantly. Now, he's actually going to save one bomb. It would be more optimal to bomb this again, but he's just going to have to save the bomb for the final spell because it's just not worth the risk, unfortunately.
Final spell.
It's very important for this final spell, by the way, not to die. You need a suicide for stage 5's opener, so he has to get through this without dying. That's why he had to save the bomb. It's pretty frustrating, this spell. There's just too much going on at once, and if you've watched my LP, you know exactly how I feel about this spell.
The spell is just a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Like, I can see why, like, at this level, you're still not at the sufficient level to consistently dodge that spell. It is simply too hard.
It would be a great improvement on the run if the bomb was used on the non instead of on the spell, and he captured the spell, but nope. Anyway, he suicides here, so he can get a nice, easy 2.0. Now, if basically almost every single bonus in Stage 5 is going to be a 2.0. So these enemies here, they kind of aim at you. Like, they'll move in the direction that you are. So he misdirected them to the top left corner there, if you saw. And he's going to misdirect these two midway up the screen so he can kill them and leave their items on screen for just long enough to get a bonus from that bomb. Lots and lots of these bonuses are just going to be gotten from bombing and suiciding. This section here is the most valuable 2.0 bonus in the game because there are no power items on this section. Every enemy you kill is only going to drop point items, and that is worth a lot, even more than any of the Stage 6 bonuses. 46 mil just from that, and that's not including the rest of the score he got just from the items themselves, excluding the bonus.
Is that in fact the most valuable 2.0 in the game, or are there more valuable ones?
I think that's the most valuable 2.0 in the entire game, actually. I don't think there's any of them that are on any difficulty or shot type that's more valuable than that. Yeah,
oh.
That is the most valuable 2.0 in the entire game. Not even extra has...
So by now his score has gone over 1 billion.
Yeah, well above 1 billion, actually. He's actually going to bomb on this spell, although you don't have to. It would be more optimal to just capture it for the spell bonus, but it's one of those really stupid spells that's easy to fail.
So it's the same story as Yatsuhashi's final.
Yeah, the thing is that I guess you could argue that if you kill it too late, you miss enemies, but really there isn't much. This section after the mid-boss is really strange because for the longest time, a lot of records just kind of improv this part and did weird things because there's not really much to get out of this section outside of a few small bonuses because it's just a weird design section. Like right here, he's not even going to get a bonus because there's nothing you can really get from that. A weird section.
Yeah, this is definitely strange.
So, right here, you might notice he doesn't have as many bombs as he did at the beginning of the stage. So, for this bonus here, he's actually going to suicide. Then he's going to move up in POC, and he's going to make sure to misdirect those 3 yin-yangs to the top of the screen and then kill them. And make sure that everything gets killed so he can get a last 2.0. So you get the items POC'd for you when a boss appears, so you can get an extra bonus from that part before Seiya. Ugh.
The character confusion.
So Seiya's kind of Seiya is probably the most dangerous part of a score run, honestly, because it's very easy to game over her if you're not really good at her. He's going to be using his bombs on these nons because the Stage 6 2.0s, he wants to make them as valuable as possible, and these nons give a whole lot of PAV, like, a whole bunch. The general rule that he's going with is use all your bombs on the nons and then brute force the spells. That way you don't die with bombs in stock. He's much better at surviving these spells than I am, I'll tell you that much. I do think he fails some, though. I get triggered by this boss.
These spells are so complicated with the
Yep.
with your movements changing.
Also, he's not going to want to die anymore because he needs a suicide on Stage 6 for one of the 2.0s, so really the pressure's on.
Yep, you have to be really good at surviving Seija for this. And unfortunately, surviving Seija is not a very easy task, because she messes with your controls. And also with your screen.
So yeah, this spell is probably my least favorite one from her because it's just a mess. Oh wait, he does die. Huh. Oh, that's right. He can still get the suicide because he gets some 2.0s at the beginning of stage 6 that allows him to get it. Disregard what I said. I was confused. I guess he does use another bomb.
Him dying there is would that still be a mistake because of the missed spell bonus, or
it is a mistake because of the missed spell bonus, but I'm wondering if he would have still suicided on that third non to get those PAV bombs. I bet he would.
I think at this level he would have.
Yeah, definitely. Disregard everything I said on the second non.
when he failed the second spell, that is by all means a mistake. On this one.
Yeah, failing any spell from stage 5 onward is a mistake by far. Hell, no, from stage 4 onward, you really don't want to fail any spell other than Sekibanki's last 2 spells and Kaguro's midboss. Every other spell in the entire game, unless you have some really weird route or something, you don't want to fail anything because the spell bonuses are important. He did fail. This was unintentional. There's no reason why that bomb would be intentional. Unfortunately. I could sympathize with him bombing though, because that was kind of a scary situation, and at this point this run was really good and he didn't want to risk a game over, because Seija is the easiest boss in this game to game over on. That's how I feel, honestly.
Yep, if you're on a really strong run, it's better to just not take too many risks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he failed quite a lot of spells too. If he had just capturing all the spells that he missed could have gotten him at least half 100 mil, maybe like 50 or 60 mil more. I don't know.
So yeah, his record is strong, but it's still improvable.
Yeah, you can definitely push this to 2.25. I don't know if you can get 2.3 built. It'd be a huge stretch because you'd have to find some way to make some bonuses bigger, and he honestly does a really damn good job at optimizing his 2.0s and optimizing his PIV. There really isn't that much else you can do in this route. This is a pretty strong record. He's gonna suicide here, yes, to get a 2.0. So yeah, every single bonus in stage 6 is gonna be, at least on the stage portion, is gonna be a 2.0. Every bonus. Except for the mid-boss. One of her nons doesn't give you enough items for a 2.0, but... yeah. So yeah, these bonuses are really, really worthwhile and definitely adding to his score. Actually, he's gonna be at 1.9 bill right before the boss starts. Like, just in these, like, 30 seconds alone, he's gonna get over 100 mil just from 2 bonuses from this mid-boss. Yep.
So...
and he's bombing too for PIV.
He will just have 1 extra life when starting the Shinmyo Maru fights.
Yeah.
It's kind of a scary thought that you could just like brain fart and game over onto this non.
Yeah. Wait. Oh no, it's not 100 mil. It's less than that. My bad. I overestimated. It was 76 mil that he got from all that. But still, that's a lot just from 2 non-spells.
Definitely.
Alright, so... Sukuna. You are not allowed to fail any spell on Sukuna, because they start off at a whopping 24 mil, and if you fail any of them, not only are you losing resources from your clear bonus, you're losing 20 mil. With Sakiabi, it's not as bad because she really can't speed kill these spells anyway, so they're gonna be worth like 15 mil. Some of them are gonna be as low as 12 mil. Some of them will be 20 mil though, like the penultimate spell in the timeout, which is gonna be worth maximum. But yes, you need to FS this boss. You do not want to fail anything. I'm pretty sure you don't want to like make a single mistake at all, really. You just want to perfect her if you can. That's what he's trying to do. And obviously succeeds at.
On the second one, there's that strategy that you can direct all those bullets to a top corner, so there's basically no danger.
Zun's aiming algorithms are so weird. How do you even make a big oversight like this? Only Zun.
I don't know.
Only Zun.
Well, yeah, the pattern was clearly not intended to work like that.
Nope. So this spell is a little weird. You might think that you need to do some misdirecting, but really you don't. You just have to follow a general rule, a general pattern. It's hard to explain it in words, but you just kind of have to know which waves to go through at which time, and it's surprisingly a lot more static than you might think. The only real RNG is her movement. If she moves too close to a wall, you could be dead meat, but usually it's okay. Yeah, the spell bonuses are only going to be like 14, 15 mil, because Sakiabi just can't kill things as fast. Reimu A though, with Reimu A, basically every spell is going to be 20 mil plus, and if you fail a spell as Reimu A in this fight, then just rip. Just rip.
I notice he is unfocusing whenever he is under Shin Yomaru's ball. I take it that it in fact deals more damage than the focus shot?
Yeah, so Sakiabi can actually shotgun Sukuna's bull, because if all of her unfocused knives hit, she actually does more damage than just her normal focus shot, which is really useful on those spells. Shin Yomaru's bull is the only real instance of the shotgun really coming in full effect, though. I mean, if he were to unfocus now, he wouldn't really do much because all of her knives would just miss her because she's so tiny, but when she's got the bull out, you know.
So by now his score is higher than 2 billion, but he is still going to get 200 million more.
Yep. So it might not look like there's a lot more points in the game left, but actually this part of the game is worth the most. You get the clear bonus, which is going to be like 70 mil or so if you don't die too much. You get the spell bonuses, like for example, this bonus right here is going to be a whopping 24 mil. Survival spells don't decrease in bonus unless you die. So, yeah, if he captures this, which he will, he's going to get the full 24 mil. He's still got 2 more spells after this, and remember, he's also still going to get the bonuses that Sukuna drops, and like, every bonus she drops is a 1.6 if I recall, like, look at that, like, they're worth quite a bit. Like, that bonus there was like 20-30 mil or something, even if they're not 2.0s,
yeah,
because his PIV is so big.
That bonus was worth 14 million actually, just yet.
Oh yeah, I was including like the items with the points too, like.
All right, the items, yeah. Since well, the PIV at this point is 425,000, so the items are also worth a lot, not just the bonuses.
Yeah. Though I don't think it was 30 mil. I think most of that score is just from that spell bonus. Anyway, last spell. This spell is kind of a heartbreaker because if you die to it, you lose so much. When the blue wave starts, he's going to want to go to the left and like kind of stream across the screen and then go back. But like the real problem with this spell is that the green stuff is kind of random, so it can really mess up your route. But he'll be fine. He's good. Yep. And would you look at that? All the workings for a 2.2. Now, at the end of a replay screen, you don't get the maximum tallied points because the replays stop before the run actually finishes. So, it says that it's 2.16, but it's 2.2. as you can see from here. So yeah, that was a Sakia B Lunatic score run.
That was a really great run.
Yeah, I wish you would come back and improve that, or someone else would. I'm not gonna try to aim for that because I don't really think that'd be worth it.
Someone would have to learn to be more consistent at capturing Seija's spells, as well as maybe somehow be consistent at capturing Yatsuhashi's final.
Yeah, again, I'm really trying to think, but I don't think there's much PIV optimization to have either, because the PIV is pretty well optimized. A lot of the optimizations would be maybe some really weird tasks like grazes or more spell captures and just general execution. I once did say that 2.3 bill is possible, but on closer inspection, I'm not entirely sure. I guess someone would just have to prove me wrong. Anyway, I think that's about it. Do you have any closing comments or anything? Or
Well, I would like to say that I may or may not score the game myself in the future, but I'll see where I end up.
And that'd be cool if you did too. Were you gonna do like Sakia B on Lunatic?
I am not sure actually if I would go for Sakia B.
I think maybe Marissa B or Rainbow A would be more feasible, because Sakia B is just frustrating. Well, I mean, I do enjoy her the most, but like, I could understand if you didn't want to go with her because
her survival problems make it well an actual challenge to simply capture a spell card.
Yeah, there's yet to be a world record where Sakia B just captures every spell that's supposed to be captured. It just isn't gonna happen. I mean, if it did, then you'd pretty much have an optimized record now, wouldn't you? Well, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not sure what game I'm gonna do next. Probably Perfect Cherry Blossom. I don't know when I'll do that, and I'm not really sure what guests I would bring on, but it was great to have Mary on this one.
No problem at all.
Alright, see you guys later.